Hello, 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 brothers and sisters. It's a new day, and we have another great show for you today. Today is actually Africa Liberation Day, and we were trying to celebrate with all the martyrs of freedom. So we ask you to take a moment of silence to recognize Africans who have died for freedom. We have so many Africans who have died for freedom, and we like the fact that today in Washington, D.C., a lot of people are celebrating around Malcolm X Square, commemorating these people who have died for freedom. Similarly, we have Americans who are also celebrating Decoration Day, or what you call Memorial Day. This is the day they remember the soldiers who gave their lives for the nation. Similarly, we want to emphasize the decoration of Africans who gave their life for the decolonization of the continent, for the freedom of the continent. There are so many of them. Kwame Nkrumah, Steve Biko, Thomas Sankara, Olympio Sylvanus. The list goes on. So many Africans. Umyobe in La République Cameroon. In every country in Africa, you have somebody who was a freedom fighter and they gave their lives. So today, we think it befits us to honor them. Without further ado, let's try to thank all our subscribers. Our numbers are going up slowly. Before you know it, we'll have 21,000 subscribers. Thanks to you, more and more people are watching this show. When we started this show, we wanted to give you a voice. We wanted you to know the news that is happening, the news that is ignored by the major channels. Sometimes YouTube censors us. They don't want you to watch the videos when we have hot videos that are from the motherland. But we still air those videos because we want you to know the truth of what is happening. Because this is the news. CNN doesn't carry, BBC doesn't carry, so we carry this news. This is why we exist. So we thank all our subscribers. If this is the first time you're watching our show, we are urging you to subscribe. If you've been subscribing already, please share the show with your friends and family members, okay? Then we also want to thank all those who do business with us. We thank ByTech97. We've told you they are organizing tech classes. Information technology is very important. Every week we emphasize the importance of information technology. We are sending many of our friends and family members to attend the classes of ByTech97. So take a look at the information online and register for the classes. Change your career. Then we are also encouraging a lot of people who are not aware of Fidels Chicken. This is a new restaurant opened by an African, and we're encouraging our people to know about this restaurant. Fidels Chicken is a restaurant opened in Silver Spring. Actually, the restaurant is located at the intersection of Randolph Road and New Hampshire Avenue in Maryland. You can even see some of the pictures we're sharing of the restaurant. We've got some of these pictures from their website. We've been to the restaurant many times. We've eaten there. The food is very good. It's really spicy, Peruvian chicken. I mean, nice. So if you've not been there before, we're encouraging you to go there. Fidels Chicken also uses Grub and Uber Eats. So if you really want to eat good food, something different from Peru. I mean, I like Spanish food because I like food from all parts of the world, but I like Peruvian food. It tastes very good. The chicken and the spices are wonderful. If you want to try it, go to Fidels Chicken, and they have Grubhub and they have Uber Eats. So you can try it and you'll enjoy the food, okay? Next, you've noticed that we have a whole lot of nurse practitioners who are joining our businesses. We're encouraging them to open their own clinics, and we are supporting them with the technology. Some people may not really understand what a nurse practitioner does. A nurse practitioner is not really a doctor, but it's a very high level in nursing. They do a whole lot of stuff that most doctors do, but they do it in an emergency kind of setting where if you don't want to go and wait for 10 hours in the emergency room, you go to an urgent care clinic, they take care of you right away. You don't really need an appointment. And most of the time, the cost is a lot cheaper than if you had gone to an emergency room. Sometimes you can even pay out of pocket if you don't really want to waste a lot of money, which is what makes sense for most of these new urgent cares. These urgent cares are for the smart consumer, the guy who knows how to shop around, who doesn't want to pay too much, the guy who recognizes value. Why should you be paying so much money just for care? That's the question, and which is why we're sharing a lot of the information about the new urgent cares we're working with. So a lot of the nurses are our business partners, so we're going to make sure that you know about these businesses so you can patronize them. We're doing this for you. Then if you are a nurse practitioner who wants to get involved, feel free to call me, Prince Ojong, 240-350-1131. Next, we should go straight into our news segment. There's a whole lot of news going on today. We always start our news by putting everything in context. And the context is the African Union meeting in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. Last week, we even criticized the African Union. We feel this is an organization that has lost its bearings. This is an organization that was developed, it was formed for the continuous decolonization of the motherland. But is that what this organization is doing? No. Right now, instead of fighting for justice, this organization is filled with power mongers, dictators who exploit their people, do terrible things to their people. They kill them for their own spot. So we think this organization is really useless because most of the problems Africans are facing today, the African Union cannot really solve those problems. By contrast, look at Europe. Look at the European Union. The European Union is doing things to help their own people. Look at the crisis in Ukraine. The European Union is stepping in, trying to help their people. Is that what Africans in the AU are doing? No. They come out and behave like beggars, always begging for stuff. You look at people spending lots of money to meet in Equatorial Guinea when their people are really hungry. And when we say hunger, we mean physical hunger. We're not using hunger as a metaphor. We're using hunger as a term that refers to the lack of food. With the crisis in Ukraine, the exposure of Africans to this crisis is paramount. Macky Sall, the new AU president, may be traveling to Europe to play politics and diplomacy, but this is a waste of time. The first thing he needs to do is to work so that the Africans can feed their people. Instead of talking about neutrality in a crisis that Russia created, they should be fighting to produce agriculture, mechanized agriculture in their countries so that we should not be feeling the pinch. Right now, because of this crisis in Ukraine, a lot of African countries are facing the lack of wheat. They cannot feed their population because the wheat used to come from Ukraine and Russia. Now, because of the war, a lot of this food is not coming in. So the people are hungry and they need to be fed. So is this not a time that they should be thinking about self-sufficiency in agriculture, mechanized agriculture? Before the Industrial Revolution, you have to do something to help your people. Start with food. When we sit down, we have a whole lot of problems. We know we also have issues with security, which we're going to deal with in a few minutes. But we think bad governance is also paramount. And when you look at Ambazonia, that's exactly what is happening. You can see a video which we're going to show you. France. We're going to talk a lot about France today, but we'll come to South Africa. Julius Malema, our hero of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party, did a great show for you, and we're going to talk a lot about it, and we want other Africans to emulate Julius Malema of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party. Okay? He left the ANC and formed the EFF. So you have to know that. You can always Google and get more information about him, but he's a firebrand, and he's bringing the problem of African liberation to the fore. We wish the EFF can win power in South Africa. I think a lot of good things will start happening in other African countries because Julius Malema is for revolution. In Ambazonia, last week we showed you a video with General Air Force. We are sad to say in less than a week, General Air Force is dead. He was killed by B from La République. He was killed in an ambush. General Air Force was really threatening to do a whole lot of stuff to La République. But as I say, man proposes, but God disposes. It tells us that the Ambazonia restoration fighters have to be a little bit more careful. When they make these videos, they should be careful the way they make videos. The videos go viral, true, yes. We want to expose our problems to the world, but at the same time, we don't want to become victims of ambushes. Because from the video, it looks like La République was able to study a lot of his movements. They knew what was happening. Then they laid ambush and they were just waiting for him. And he fell right in their trap. From what we are gathering, we've not gotten enough information yet. It looks like some of the videos we've received, we're analyzing this information. He had some beef to pick with some people who felt he had wronged them. So it looks like they betrayed him. But we don't have the complete information, so we cannot share it with you today. Probably by next week, we'll have the full information, and we'll be able to share this with you. All we say is 2 of his boys were not found, so he was the only one that we saw who was shot by La République B. At the same time, too, you can see that B is holding a barefoot father. They're taking him to kill him. Execution style. Take a look and watch the video. Barefoot father. Take a look.
Voilà un number qu'on a arrêté. Voilà un number qu'on a arrêté. Un number. Un Ambazonien. On va te tuer. Tu es mort. Tu es mort. Voilà un number qu'on... Avec l'arme même. Avec l'ongumta. Poulet a fini. Je sais pas, les gens là, avec les munitions de calage, paquet de munitions. Ça c'est. Voilà les paquets de munitions qu'il a même en main. Le paquet de. C'est un vieux. Il livre les. Mais. Avec les bombes, c'est le même pas. Ça, c'est le problème. Celui qui explose les gens là. C'est toi qui explose les gens là. Filmez pas.
When you look at this video, the big guys are speaking in French. They want to kill you. So they're taking him just like sheep to the slaughterhouse. And they're talking in French that they're going to kill him. They are accusing him for being an Ambazonia restoration fighter when actually this is false. So this is not a good sign. And this is a pattern. They will take a gun, a Den gun, and put it on his neck and say that he's a restoration fighter. The guy is pleading for his life, but it looks like in La République Cameroon, there is no court of law. You just have jungle justice. Those soldiers have already condemned him to death, and they are marching him to the slaughterhouse to kill him. If we were living in a country with laws, the court will decide this poor guy father from Bafoot's fate. But those soldiers summarily executed him, and we think this is a very, very bad thing. Next, you can see now that the Amber Restoration Forces are not sitting down. Even though they are dying, they are like Spartans. They are not surrendering.
Yeah, fellow Ambazonians, this one material way the government of President Marianta, it don't give them for the buffaloes of Nyonga. So we don't receive them. It is presently for Field Marshal Grandpa Ihan. And instruction, I think we he want to say it also they won't be good, but it will be perfect if all other comes them for Ambazonia where they work, they receive this kind of material too, so that the work will go smoothly. So whatever, we thank you, but it not be enough until all the 13 counties, all the good barracks them, they feel the impact of your presence. Thank you very much.
So you can see the way they are retaliating in Bamenda. They went ahead now and they were burning a government building in anger. Take a look at the video.
Yeah, today the 26th of May 2022, with the Warriors ARF. Now government properties in this, now government building this will run broke and burn them down. So we don't need any of their things for we land. Now economic sabotage this. Now for where they come hide before they kill our people, they rape our woman them, they thief for we land. So we not see none of their property. La Republic a clear message this for una. Una pack and go, una pack and leave the land, una pack go for the land. Not see no of una for the land. Yes. Now so we'll continue the burn and down. So we'll continue the burn and down. Yes. Now so we'll continue the burn and down all time. Yes. Yes. Now the building that building the go down in flames. Don't burn them. Now a clear message to them. Let them come up for the land. Don't need them. No need them. No come over land, no pack go. Confident. Now they're building this to go down in flames. Economic sabotage. No need them for the land.
In addition to burning this video in anger, you're also going to see the Ambazonia Forces jubilating after they completed their training. They were somewhere in Manu division. They had completed their training and they were just trying to boost their morale, and they were just saying armor cars are not going to prevent them from doing their mission, from liberating their motherland. Take a look at the video.
This is AMF Elite Force, a graduation after a 2 solid hits where they don't take on after 6-month training, and then this they graduate today being the 2nd of July.
22 July. Yeah, you can see how they are singing. They are all singing for the victory of the training, the victory of the 2 hits. So we are also happy and glad for the victory God has rendered to them. So these are elite force, mighty and a strong force we have in Ambaland. If you listen to what they are singing, you understand that no matter how strong the La Republic is, no matter the weapon the La Republic come with, they are very strong to overcome. If they can jump out at the corner and Amoka cannot do them anything, that shows they are more than what we were expecting. They are more than what we have been hearing. The victory is so wonderful.
We think we've shared a whole lot of videos of Ambazonia with you. Next, we're going to move now to La République du Cameroon. Much of what is happening in La République du Cameroon is just complaint. The people feel the Anglophones have been wronged. So this is not a good thing. You can see some of the Francophones really explaining the way the Anglophones have been marginalized in La République du Cameroon. And they are doing this openly. Then, of course, you also have Professor Titus Ejoa. He used to be Biya's doctor. When he wanted to run for president, Biya came up with fake charges and put him in jail for a long time. So he almost died. Thanks to God, he's been free. He's free now to speak his mind. And he was just talking about the problems in the country. So he has not stopped talking. He has continued criticizing. But will Mr. Biya listen? No. He only listens to the French. You can see him with pictures with the French ambassador, Christophe Guilou, meeting in Etudi. That's what he does best, listening to the French ambassador. He doesn't listen to anybody else. He doesn't listen to the Cameroonian people. From Cameroon, now we move to Central African Republic.
Is the COVID-19 crisis sweeping and stressing you out? Are you looking for smart answers, latest information from health experts, newest tips from doctors? Here's Dr. Wilma Huntz-Watts, the super tech doctor, the keynote speaker of the Alexia Corporation's Telehealth Telemedicine Virtual Conference, a free event scheduled on February 26, 2022. Interested? Then come for networking opportunities, giveaway freebies, special offers, Q&A sessions, learning and business guides, free videos and transcripts. Don't ignore COVID-19. Don't make the worst mistake others are making. Plan to attend the virtual medical conference. Discover Alexia HTC, America's newest EMR/EHR application, shaking things up in the telehealth, telemedicine space.
We've been covering Central African Republic every week because this is a hotspot in Africa. Today, we receive intelligence that Assange Touadera is trying to come up with a third term project where he wants to run as president for a third term. The Constitution bans against any third term project. But what is he doing? He's doing what most of them do. They just shove this project down the throats of the lawmakers, his members of parliament, so that they can make him president for a third time. Then when the rebels start complaining and fighting him, people will say, oh, the rebels are fighting. It's because when you monopolize power, the other people want to get in too. So the politics of exclusion is always creating a problem in Africa. So this is a very good example of bad governance. With good governance, you as president should not be changing the constitution unilaterally. Let the people decide if they want to change the constitution. Do not change the constitution just because you want to run for president for a third term. So we say what Assange Touadera is doing is wrong. Russia may be supporting him, but his days are numbered. Okay? Now we'll move to Congo DRC. We love covering Congo DRC because there's a whole lot of news going on. Before, if you remember last week, we told you Rwanda is doing very well, and we salute them. We like it when an African country is doing well, but there's some dark clouds behind the success of Rwanda. Rwanda is building its success out of the exploitation of other African countries. And a good example is Congo DRC. Rwanda doesn't have gold, they don't have a lot of mineral resources, but they wage war, proxy wars, so that they can destabilize Congo DRC and gain from their mineral resources. Finally, Felix Tshisekedi, the president of Congo DRC, has understood the game Paul Kagame is playing. So now there's a form of enmity between these two countries. Before they had a rapprochement, but Felix Tshisekedi is realizing now that what we've been saying on this show is true. Paul Kagame is not a good guy. He is doing everything to help his people, but at the expense of other African people. So is this what a Pan-Africanist should be doing? No. A Pan-Africanist should try to do things to help the entire Africa. But he should not be stealing the wealth of one African country and taking this wealth to his own country. And they do a lot of processing. You ask yourself, Rwanda doesn't have all these minerals. Where does Rwanda get all this money that is spending to develop? Sure, they are developing very well, but the only bad thing is they are stealing the money from Congo DRC. And you can see the rebels. The rebels are supported by Rwanda. Paul Kagame is supporting those rebel forces M23. And this is why you can see that Felix Tshisekedi is severing the relations with Paul Kagame. Next, we'll move to Gambia. Adama Barrow is the new president of Gambia. But remember, before he became president, we had Yaya Jamie. This week, the U.S. government has finally seized the mansion, the Maryland mansion of Yaya Jamie. In one of our shows, we had explained to you the way the U.S. Justice Department had filed a suit against Yaya Jamie, and the wheels of justice have been turning. Finally, they've turned to a completion. The U.S. is seizing these properties now. We have a lot of videos. We have over 50 videos of these properties. We're in real estate, so we have access to all the nice pictures. This is the mansion of Yaya Jamie. He bought it using his wife, okay? Under a fake non-profit organization, fake foundation. That's how they did it. That's the secret they used. After they stole the money from Gambians, they used this vehicle to hide their loot. Next, we go to Malawi. Malawi is also a country where we have Lazarus Chakwera. This is a guy who came to power under the banner of end to corruption and bribery, but it looks like he's not been able to wake up the way Jesus asked Lazarus to wake up and leave corruption alone. We had seen a video in the past where President Lazarus Chakwera was fighting with one of his ministers who had stolen money. And you think that, wow, this guy is really crazy about corruption. Now, we just received news about a story that broke, showing that in Lazarus's own cabinet, President Chakwera Lazarus' cabinet, the vice president is involved in a big corruption scandal. He took money from a business person, and this was revealed by a British publication. And we've been trying to investigate the story, and we're getting more information. Next week, we're going to share more information for you, okay? We're going to share a lot more information. Next, we came across a video that one of you sent it to us about Mozambique. Mozambique, this is the country of Samora Machel. You know, we always love revolutionary fighters, Samora Machel, okay? Frelimo. So this is dealing with a flood, and the people are really going through tough times, and we feel sorry for them. They are using helicopters to try to rescue them, and the site is really just stopping, and we feel sorry for our people. We just hope they can all be taken to safety, and we're praying for them, okay? Then we'll move now to Nigeria.
Hey, yo, Shape, I thought you was gonna take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy Shape. When I say his services are the best in the states where it's born, he even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
Well, Nigeria, the main focus in Nigeria now is the presidential election of 2023. Everybody is focusing on that. This week, Atiku Abubakar finally emerged victorious as the candidate of the PDP party. You guys have heard about Atiku Abubakar before. We told you that he used to be the vice president under President Obasanjo. So he has been running for president many times and he has been losing, but he keeps running the same way Buhari Muhammadu has been doing. He's been running, then finally he made it. So is Atiku going to make it this time? It looks like it, because he's been spending a whole lot of money to buy the delegates, because in the game of politics in Nigeria, it's not principles and policy, it's the stomach. You pay money, you feed the people, You feed the politicians, you feed the delegates, you buy their votes. Then you win the election. So there's no such thing as democracy as is understood in the West. The politicians use money to buy their way. Then when they get into power, they try to get what they have spent. So it's like an investment. Before you get to power, you have to use money to get to power. Once you get to power, you have to pay back. So it's a very devilish game. And you ask yourself, how can I help my people? That's the question Peter Obi, the vice president under PDP last time who ran with Atiku, he had to drop out. Last time when he was running with Atiku Abubakar, we were really impressed with Peter Obi's credentials. He's a very good debater and he sounds very, very intelligent. But you see, because he doesn't have the kind of money to buy delegates, he has to buy out. So he himself was like, wow, the presidency is for sale. Yes, it's for sale. You cannot be president if you don't have money. And that's the sad truth. Then on the APC side, we were hoping to get some resolution. But it looks like the cabal controlling Muhammadu Buhari, the president, has decided that Yemi Osinbajo and Bola Tinubu are not going to be the winner of the primary of the APC party. Instead, they want to bring a candidate. They are floating the candidacy of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Because he was able to give power to the North, so the Northerners feel he's a good guy, so they can give him power, then next time he can give it back to them again. So it's just like a game of football or soccer, as some of you call it in America. You pass the ball to me, then I pass it back to you. So which means the Yoruba and the Igbos or other tribes will never be able to get into power. So that's the game the North is playing. It's a very dangerous game. Actually, from what we understand, it looks like there's an unwritten rule that if the power is in the North, next time it has to go to the South. But this time, it looks like the Northerners do not want power to go to the South. And this is what is going to lead to the breakup of Nigeria as a country. So Buhari is playing a very devilish game. So we don't know whether this is a game of brinkmanship. At what point is he going to have some sense to know that, let me not hurt my country? Because this game is dangerous. Things can go wrong. For one, you look at somebody like Bola Tinubu. He is the one who created APC as a party. Then he brought Buhari to run. The arrangement was Buhari will run this time, and next time he will run. So if Buhari doesn't want him to become president because they are afraid that he will be all-powerful, and they just want to bring a puppet such as Goodluck Jonathan, who is just going to be their boy, we're afraid. Bola Tinubu is not going to be taking it lying down, and he has the resources to fight. That's the sad thing. Yemi Osinbajo may accept things lying down, but we doubt whether Bola Tinubu is going to accept things lying down. So what does this augur now for Nigeria? That's what we're going to tell you in our next segment. For now, let's go to South Africa. South Africa has a whole lot of stories. The story this week has to do with the Economic Freedom Fighters Party of Julius Malema. And in another twist, you can see that Julius Malema's party is supporting Ambazonia thanks to the work of Vice President Dabney Yerima of Ambazonia. He was able to get the support of the EFF party of South Africa. So they are supporting Ambazonia now. So which means if the EFF party rises to power, automatically Ambazonia will have an African country recognizing their independence. So it always begins, these struggles always begin slowly, but before you know it, they garner a lot of force. So you can see a whole lot of videos. In fact, Julius Malema doesn't play games. He was able to contact the French ambassador and summon him to come out and take points of a memorandum that they had written, demands that they had. And he told him, if you don't come out, I'm going to send more people to the streets and this place will be flooded. The French ambassador was so shaken, he had to acquiesce to their demands. And we thank Julius Malema for bringing the plight of Ambazonians to the fore. and also the plight of other Africans.
The French colonialists banned food, killed cows, and destroyed buildings and books. The former colonies of the French regime, such as Gabon, Mali, Niger, Senegal, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso, Congo Brazzaville, Ivory Coast, Chad, Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and Guinea-Bissau continue to use the franc currency, and their monetary policy are dictated by the French Central Bank. France continue to maintain strong and
So you see the bright colors of red colors of EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters Party. This is great news. African liberation is not going to die, and we salute Julius Malema for the work that he's doing. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Watch my show, share, and share.
Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on MUMPS, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com. Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.